Dear students, welcome to online classes. Today we'll discuss a new topic, that is electromagnetic induction. So in this electromagnetic induction, we'll discuss Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction and Lenz's law, and we'll see self and mutual inductance. So let us see first what is the electromagnetic induction. So this is the phenomenon to producing the electric current or induced EMF when it is closed circuit due to the change in the magnetic field or change in the magnetic flux linked with the that coil or a closed circuit. So that is called as electromagnetic induction. So this is the diagram I have taken here. This is the one of the closed circuit. So through this closed circuit, so how many number of the field lines are passing through it, magnetic field lines are passing through it. So that is gives the magnetic flux. If it is passing out from the this surface, which surface, closed surface, so that is not going to produce the any magnetic field through the that coil. So therefore we cannot get the any induced EMF through the circuit. So here number of the field lines are passing through it, so that is produces the induced EMF. So that is nothing but the electromagnetic induction. So and then what is the magnetic flux? Magnetic flux is nothing but as a number of the magnetic field lines passing through a given closed surface. This is a closed surface which is having the area A, and it provides the measurement of total magnetic field that passes through the given surface area. So we have taken the diagram of this closed surface, and this through the this closed surface number of the field lines are passing through it. So this is nothing but the flux, magnetic flux. The expression we have written like this: phi equals to b dot of a, and the dot product of b of a is written as b a cos of theta. So this is the electromagnetic induction and magnetic flux. So now we'll see next topic, that is Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. There are two laws, uh, Faraday's first law and Faraday's second law. So now we'll see Faraday's first law. Before going to Faraday's law, we'll see the experimental performed by the Faraday. So what he did, he took a one circular coil and he took a one of the magnet. So and here he performed a three experiment. One is a relative motion of the magnet directed into the that coil, and one is placed as a magnet as in the rest position, and another one of the experiment is performed, that is the magnet is moving away from the taking away from the that coil. So by using these three experiment, he come to know how the magnetic field is going to be generates in the that coil when the magnet is having the motion. So here first diagram is shows that the magnet is moving towards the coil. If the magnet is moving towards the coil, in that time that magnetic flux is linked with the that coil, and the coil is produces the induced EMF. So that induced EMF is, or induced current is shown in the this meter. So that is a meter, otherwise any one of you take a voltmeter. So that is gives the deflection. So that deflection is, or we can take a galvanometer here. If you took a galvanometer, then we can understand the direction of the current also. So here the deflection you will get in the positive direction. If you are taking, if you are taking the magnet into the dead coil, the motion of the dead magnet towards the coil, so the deflection you will get, that is a positive. And another one of the experiment he done, So that is, the magnet is placed inside the that conductor or a coil, then there is no any deflection we are going to get. So that is a one experiment. And then another one of the experiment is there, that is, the magnet is moving out of the dead coil and it is away from the dead of the coil. In that time, what will happen, the deflection, the current is produced in the dead coil in opposite direction, that is in in a negative direction. So this is the three experiment he performed, and he come to know, that is, whenever the magnetic flux is linked with the conductor or in a coil, it changes an EMF or in a induced current. So finally they got, if the magnetic field is changes, then the induced current is changes. So therefore, whenever it is increases, whenever it is decreases, it depends on the that moment. So now we'll see first Faraday's law, that is nothing but whenever magnetic flux linked with a conductor or a coil changes and EMF is produced in it. It means, see here, if I took a this conductor and this conductor, in this conductor number of the field lines are passing through it, it is a very less compared to this conductor, which is I have taken this conductor, and for this conductor the number of the field lines are passing through it, it is a maximum compared to this conductor. So therefore, if that magnetic flux is linked with the conductor or a coil changes, if you are changing any one of this one coil or a magnetic bar, in that time the induced EMF is produces. That induced EMF is depends on the that magnetic flux is passing through the that conductor. If I took this one, if I took this conductor here, then the magnetic flux or field lines are passing through this conductor is maximum, so you will get a maximum current here. So that is depends on the that magnetic flux line, and it is linked with that conductor, it is produces the EMF or a induced current. So that induced current and induced EMF is last so long as change in the magnetic flux continuous. So continuously, if you are moving in this direction, if you are taking out, if you are moving into the that conductor, if you taking out, it means, so continuously you are doing, and then you will get the change in the current in the opposite direction as well as in the this direction. So you will get changes in the conductor continuously. So that is gives the first law of Faraday's of induction. So now we will see the second one, that is a Faraday's second law. So Faraday's second law is nothing but, so whatever the we have given here changes in the that flux or in the that of the induced EMF, so that is gives the magnitude, that magnitude is there, that magnitude is depends on or it is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux. It is depends on rate of change of magnetic flux. If you are taking out from the this conductor, the magnetic flux line is a very less. If you are taking into the red conductor, then the magnetic flux line is a maximum. So therefore, that induced EMF is there, that is depends on this magnetic flux linked with the coil. So this is a rate of change, it means it depends on the time. So if you are taking here the time t1, and if you're taking out from that one, that is the time t2, so it depends on the that t1 and t2. So this is the expression I have written here. Induced EMF is equals to the minus of n into d phi by dt. So minus is gives the direction of induced EMF. N is the number of the turns. which is used in the that conductor. So here these are the two Faraday's laws, first law and second law. So I will repeat once again here. What is the first law? First law is nothing but whenever the magnetic flux is linked with the conductor or a coil changes and EMF is induced in it. It means produced in it. This induced EMF is lasts so long as change in the magnetic flux continuously. So up to where you are changing the magnetic flux, so up to there you will get the induced EMF. So that is the first law, and second law is that you will get the magnitude of that change in the that induced EMF. So that magnitude of the induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the coil. So this is the expression, and now we'll see the how we'll get this expression of induced EMF. Let us will take phi 1 be the magnetic flux linked with the closed circuit or coil at a time t1 and we'll take another one of the flux linked when the time t2. So that is a phi 2 be the magnetic flux linked with the coil or a closed circuit, that is the time t2. It means first I will take that magnet into the that coil that coil that is having the flux of, see, this is the one of the field lines are going to produce, that is gives the phi 1 and fan at time t1. So now what I am going to do, I am taking out from this coil, so that is gives the phi 2. Otherwise if you taking here, then it is gives the phi 2 in that time t2. So therefore now what you will get the change in the magnitude. So you will get change in the magnitude and the magnetic flux, change in the magnetic flux in the time of interval t2 minus of t1. So t2 minus of t1, so you will get that is phi 2 minus of phi 1, phi 2 minus of phi 1. So therefore this induced EMF is directly proportional to the d phi and inversely proportional to the time t. So here d phi by dt. So therefore phi 2 minus phi 1 difference in the that magnetic flux and difference in the time t2 minus t1, the ratio of difference in the magnetic flux to the time taken. So therefore we can write this directly proportionality constant, that is a k. So E equals to minus of k. Minus is nothing but the opposition of the that current which is going to be produced by the that magnetic field. So that is gives the negative here, k into bracket of phi 2 minus phi 1 divided by pi t1 t2 minus t1. So k is a proportionality constant, then we can take that k equals to proportionality constant is a 1. So the equation becomes E equals to minus of phi 2 minus phi 1 divided by t2 minus t1. So we can write this one like this: E equals to minus of d phi b upon dt. So this is the expression which is we are going to get from the that Faraday's law. So negative sign shows the direction of induced EMF is changes that it opposes the change in the magnetic flux. So if the coil has n number of the turns, then we can write the equation that is E equals to minus of n d phi by dt. So this is the expression we have derived from the that experiments. Now how will we find the direction of that induced EMF is a positive and a negative and a positive? So for that one we have considered another one of the law, that is we call a third law, otherwise we'll call that is a Lenz law. So it gives the direction of the that induced current which is opposed to the that magnetic field. So let us see the next one, that is Lenz. According to Lenz law, the direction of induced EMF is such that opposes the cause of which is produces it. Oppose the cause of which is produces it. So I have taken here the how to find the direction of the current or a direction of the that induced EMF. So let us take here three examples. One is, this is I have taken a magnet which is having the S and N pole, and I have taken here one of the coil. So now what I am going to do, I am taking this magnet towards this coil, and also I am taking this coil towards this magnet. So in that time what will happen? So in that time the magnet is producing n magnet, n side, n pole is producing the magnetic field, and the pace of this pace is there, the pace of this side is also acting like a n pole. So in that time we'll get opposition in both side. It means the repulsion will take place. Due to that repulsion, the direction of the magnetic field is gets in this direction. So the current is moves a forward direction. So using a right hand thumb rule. And also we can call that when n pole of bar magnet, when n pole of bar magnet is brought near to the closed loop, this is the closed loop, the counterclockwise, this is the counterclockwise, the current is produces in the loop, this is the counterclockwise direction. So the counterclockwise current is produces in the that loop. From a right hand we know that a right hand screw rule also. So screw rule is gives, if you given the direction of screw, then what will happen if you are tightening the screw? So in that time the direction is above, you can use this rule, otherwise a screw rule. The direction of the that current is above and the magnetic field in a horizontal direction. So this induced current is produced in a magnetic field which is opposes the magnetic field of the bar magnet. So this is the direction of the bar magnet, and this is the direction of the magnetic field which is generated by this circular loop. And now this is a counterclockwise direction. This the current is produces is a counterclockwise direction, and it is also called as, it is gives the clock rule, clock rule of fitting, clock rule of fitting in the loop. It is also called as clock rule of fitting in the loop. So this is the way we are representing for this motion. And second one is that for the B. So here what I am going to do, we are taking bar magnet out from the that loop, we are taking the bar magnet, and here magnetic field is in opposite direction. So the current is moving in clockwise direction, so therefore we will get the direction of the current is downward. So likewise in a C, point of C, in a view of C, so the magnet is moving, the magnet is moving towards the that coil, and coil is moving away from the that magnet. So therefore here the direction of the current you will get, that is a downward direction, which is shown in the figure. So here when the n pole is taken away from the, when n pole is taken away from the second one, for B will see the n pole is taking away from the loop, near the face of the loop is, this face of the loop is behaves as a S4 behaves as a S4. The clock rule fitting, that clock rule fitting gives the direction of the current in downward. In the loop will give the direction of the current, that is a downward direction. So this is gives the, this Lenz law is gives the direction of the current which is produced by the magnetic field. So here I have given the explanation of A and B and C of the that diagrams. I have only explained the A diagram of the explanation, and B and C is there. Two situations are there. You only understand and write the that explanation.